Hello, everybody. So today we're going to start our discussion of metric measurement system. We're on lesson 10.5 on page 445 of the fifth grade Go Math textbook. And our essential question is, how can you compare and convert metric units? So let's look at the unlock the problem. Using a map, Alex estimates the distance between his house and his grandparents' house to be about 15,000 meters. About how many kilometers or kilometers away from his grandparents' house does Alex live? So underline the sentence that tells you what you're trying to find. So we did that. About how many kilometers away from his grandparents' house does Alex live? And circle the measurement you need to convert. We need to change from 15,000 meters into kilometers. So now, one of the nice things with the metric system is that it's based on place value, and every unit is related to the next largest or next smallest unit by a power of 10. So when we look at converting 15,000 meters to kilometers, let's look here. We have meters here in the middle, and those are what we call our basic measurement: meters, liters, grams. And then if you go to the left, just one spot, those are decameters, decaliters, or decagrams, and they're 10 times greater than a meter. So in other words, it takes 10 meters to equal a decameter. We go to a hectometer, that's going to be 10 times as great as a decameter, or 100 times greater than a meter. So it's going to take 100 meters to equal a hectometer. And a kilometer would be 10, 100, 1,000. It's going to take 1,000 meters to equal a kilometer. All right, so find the relationship between the units. So the meters are blank powers of 10 smaller than kilometers. So kilometers are bigger than meters, and how many times? 1, 2, 3 powers of 10 greater. So that tells us that there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So determine the operation to use. So we're converting from what type of unit to another type of unit. So we're changing from meters to kilometers. So we're converting from a smaller unit to a larger unit. So we will divide. So here we have 15,000, and we're going to divide by 1,000, the number of meters in a kilometer. So 15,000 divided by 1,000 is 15. So Alex's house is 15 kilometers from his grandparents' house. All right. Another way we can use a diagram. So in this case, Jamie made a bracelet 1 8 decimeters long, 1 8/10 decimeters long. How many millimeters long is Jamie's bracelet? So here we see that we have 1 8/10 decimeters. So show 1 8/10 decimeters. Since the unit is decimeters, place the decimal point so that the decimeters are the whole number units. Okay, so we have 1 full decimeter and we have 8/10 of a decimeter. Cross out the decimal and rewrite it so that millimeters will be the whole unit. Write zeros to the left of the decimal point as needed to complete the whole number. So what they're asking us to do is to take this decimal point and move it so that it's after the millimeters. Well, if we move the decimal point 2 places to the right, we have to add another 0 there. So we'd have 180 millimeters, because millimeters are 2 powers of 10 smaller than a decimeter, or 100 times smaller. So Jay's bracelet is about 180 millimeters long. All right, so complete the equation to show the conversion. Convert 247 milligrams to centigrams, decigrams, and grams. Are the units being converted to a larger unit or smaller unit? Okay, so let's look. If we're at milligrams to centigrams, so if we're at milligrams and we're changing 2 centigrams, we're going to the left. That means the milligrams are smaller. So we're going from smaller to larger. So we're going to divide. We're going to convert to larger. They're being converted to a larger unit. And so we're going to divide by powers of 10. So to change from milligrams to centigrams, it's just 1 power of 10. Centigrams are to the left of milligrams. So we'd have 24.7 centigrams. Okay. $247 milligrams are how many decigrams? So decigrams are 100 times smaller or larger than milligrams. So 2.47 decigrams. And a gram is 1,000 times bigger than a milligram. So we'd have 0.247 grams. So what am I doing here basically? So when I divide by 10, I take this whole number and divide by 10. I move the decimal point 1 place to the left. When I divide by 100, I take the decimal point and move 2 places to the left. When I divide by 1,000, I take the decimal point and move 3 places to the left. So move the decimal point the same number of zeros in the base 10. All right, so now B. Convert 3 9/10 hectoliters to decaliters, liters, and deciliters. So let's look at our chart. We're going from hectoliters to decaliters to liters to deciliters. Okay, so we're going from larger to smaller. Hectoliters are larger than decaliters. So we're going to multiply by powers of 10. So to go from hectoliters to decaliters, it's 1 place to the right. So 1 power of 10. So we're going to take the decimal point and move 1 place to the right. So we'd have 39 decaliters. To go from hectoliters to liters, we'd move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So we'd have 390 liters. And 3 9/10 hectoliters to deciliters, there's going to be 1,000 deciliters in a hectoliter. So move the decimal point 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. 3,900 deciliters. All right, number 1. Complete the equations that show the conversion. Think, are the units being converted to a larger unit or smaller? So here we have liters, and we're going to deciliters. Deciliters are smaller, so we're going to multiply. We're going to move the decimal point. So we're at liters, and we're going to deciliters. So we're going to multiply by 10. So 84.7. To go from liters to centiliters, we're going to multiply by 100. Because centiliters are 10 100 times bigger or smaller than a liter. So 8 and 47 liters, 4,700 liters is 847 centiliters. And if we were going to go from liters to milliliters, we would have to multiply that by 1,000 because there's 1,000 milliliters in every liter. So we'd move the decimal point 3 places to the right, which means we'd have to add a 0, 8,470. All right, we're at decigrams and we're going to grams. So decigrams are smaller than grams. So we're going from smaller to larger. So we're going to divide by 10. We're going to move the decimal point 1 place to the left. Deciliters to decagrams. We're going to divide by 100. So that means move the decimal point 2 places to the left. 98.24 decagrams. And from decigrams to hectograms, we'd have to divide by 1,000. So take the decimal point and move it 3 places to the left. All right, now convert 4,250 centimeters to meters. So we know centimeters here, and we have to change to meters. So we're changing from a smaller unit to a larger unit. So we're going to divide. Okay, we're going to divide by 10, 100. So 4250 divided by 100 equals how many meters? Move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So 42.50 meters. Number 4. $6,000 milliliters and we're changing that to liters. Milliliters are smaller than liters. Okay, so milliliters to liters. That's 10, 100 times smaller. So take 6,000 and divide by 1,000, and that would give us 6 liters. 4 decigrams is how many centigrams? So we're going from a larger unit, and decigrams are just 10 times bigger than centigrams. So 4 decigrams times 10 will equal 40 centigrams. Number 6, 7 grams is how many milligrams? So grams are larger than milligrams. There are 1,000 milligrams in a gram. So 7,000 milligrams. 5 kilometers. So we're going from larger to smaller, and there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So 5 times 1,000, 5,000 meters. Number 8, we're going from milliliters to deciliters. So let's look. Milliliters to deciliters. So 10, 100. 100 times smaller. So we're going from smaller to larger. So we're going to divide by 100, which means basically we're moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. 15 and 2100 deciliters. All right, let's compare these. 32 hectograms compared to 3 and 2/10 kilograms. So we got to change one of these to the other. So it really doesn't matter. So kilograms, hectograms. Kilograms are 10 times bigger. Kilograms are 10 times bigger than a hectogram. So we can take 3 and 2/10 kilograms, multiply by 10 to get the number of hectograms. So if I'm multiplying 3 and 2/10 by 10, that means move the decimal point to one place to the right, and we'd have 32 hectograms. So those two are equal to each other. Number 10, 6 kilometers compared to 660 meters. Well, there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So that 6 kilometers or 6,000 meters. Well, 6,000 meters is a lot bigger than 660. So 6 kilometers is larger. Number 11, 525 milliliters compared to 525 centiliters. Well, milliliters are smaller than centiliters. So 525 milliliters has to be smaller than 525 centiliters. Number 12. Are there less than a million, exactly a million, or greater than 1 million milligrams in 1 kilogram? Explain how you know. All right, so they're basically asking us 1 kilogram is how many milligrams? All right. Well, let's see how many powers of 10s that is to go from kilograms to milligrams. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. 1 million. So we'd have to take 1 kilogram and multiply by 1 million. So are there less than a million, exactly a million, or greater than 1 million milligrams in a kilogram? Well, there's exactly 1 million. So 6 powers of 10 smaller than kilograms. So 6 zeros. All right. Number 13. Kelly made 1 batch of raisin and pretzel snack mix. How many grams does she need to add to the snack mix to make 2 kilograms? All right, so right now we're at 1,425 grams, and we need to make 2 kilograms. Well, 2 kilograms is how many grams? We're going from larger to smaller, so we'd multiply 2 times 1,000, so 2,000 grams. So if we want 2,000 grams, and the batch of raisin and pretzel snack is 1,425, all we have to do is subtract to find out how much she has to add. How many grams does she have to add? She needs to add 575 grams. 14. Kelly plans to take juice on her camping trip. Which will hold more juice? 8 cans or 2 bottles? And then how much more? 8 cans would be 8 times 150, or 2 bottles, which is 2 times 2 liters. So 2 bottles holds 4 liters, or 4,000 milliliters. 8 times 150 is 1,200 milliliters. So which will hold more? The 2 bottles. And 4,000 minus 1,200 . 2,800 milliliters more. Aaron's bottle holds 600 milliliters of water. Dylan's bottle holds 1 liter. Whose bottle holds more water, and how much more? Well, 1 liter is how many milliliters? So let's look. If we're at 1 liter, and we have to change that to milliliters, that's 10, 100, 1,000. It takes 1,000 milliliters to equal 1 liter. Okay, well, if Dylan's bottle holds 1,000 milliliter and Aaron's holds 600 milliliters, Dylan's bottle holds more. So whose bottle holds more water? Dylan's. How much more? Well, 1,000 take away 600 is 400 milliliters more. 16. Liz and Alana each participated in the high jump at the track meet. Liz's high jump was 1 meter. Alana's high jump was 132 meters. Who jumped higher and how much higher? All right, well, 1 meter is how many centimeters? Well, there's 100 centimeters in a meter, so 100. Alana's jump was 132 centimeters. So who jumped higher? Alana did, right? How much more? Well, 132 is 32 centimeters more than 100. And 17. Monica has 426 millimeters of fabric. How many centimeters of fabric does Monica have? So we're changing from millimeters into centimeters. So we're going from smaller to larger. Smaller to larger, so we're going to divide by 10. So it would be 42.6. All right, so what do we have? We have 426 divided by 10 equals 42.6. All right, so that's it for lesson 4.5. In our next lesson, lesson 4.6, we'll be working on problem solving using customary and metric conversions. So until then, I will see you soon.